Hey guys, Dylan McGrath, the Scrapologist here, making a new kind of video today just because I'm reacting to this Claressa Shields thing. We're going to talk a little bit about this Brittney Elkin versus Claressa Shields fight and how I think Brittney Elkin's kind of botched this particular finish and caused a major turning point in the fight and potentially cost herself this bout in one false move. So let's get into it. Claressa Shields came out in this fight and was tested brutally and hard by a girl with 9 fights, which I cannot overstate how truly impactful and important 9 fights is versus someone who's never been in there before, even if they are a professional athlete in their sport. That experience cannot be overstated, in my opinion. So she's going in there against a girl with 9 fights who's also a brown belt, so there's no mystery about what this fight could look like. And a lot of people, Chael Sonnen particularly, said Claressa Shields is going to go out here and we're going to find out the same about her that we know about everybody else in the sport, which is that she's not good on the ground. This is where we're going to start today in this video. Claressa Shields is not good on the ground. She's doing some things that you see people do in their first no-gi class, or their introductory roles to the sport. This particular movement that we just saw here, her do with her feet, where she like bucks and tries to use her feet to get Brittney Elkin off of her, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign at all. And it's only the first of a few that we're going to go over today in just this very short transitional position. So this is something that she did do, in my opinion, pretty well. She locked her down a lot and kept Brittney Elkin from raining too much damage on her. Normally a fighter, like a male fighter or the elite level female fighters in the UFC, especially in these bigger weight divisions, Amanda Nunes, etc., they're going to, if they get you in this kind of position with this much control, they're just going to finish you. They're going to do too much damage for you to be able to truly continue. This is where we saw another mistake. She extended her arm up, which caused Brittney Elkin to fold it over at the elbow, kind of like back like she was doing earlier when she was looking for the paintbrush when she had her in mount. But this time she's, in a very, very high mount, which means she's going to go for an armbar. So she's folding this arm back, and right here she's good. Right here she's good. So I'm actually going to slow down the speed a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't kill the quality on this thing. So this is where the mistakes start for Brittney Elkin. Obviously, Claressa Shields has made a lot of mistakes on the ground. She's been throwing punches up from the bottom. She's been extending her arms. She's been, bucking like a white belt. So there's obviously a lot of work to do there. Brittney Elkin has had full control and has been fighting her fight this entire time, and she's about to get the finish in her mind. She gets a little sloppy. See this leg behind Claressa Shields' head? It's folded over. It's folded over like she's about to sit cross-legged, Indian style, as we used to call it back in preschool. That is not good. It's too far separated. It's so far separated from Claressa's body that there's like a large open area of room, and that she's not getting that true leg pinch. So that's where the mistake starts. Here's the second big mistake. This is the big one. There's no weight on Claressa Shields' upper body and head and collarbones. That's huge, because you're going to see why just in a moment. Now Claressa Shields is in a bad spot. Her arm is fully extended, potentially about to be hyperextended. But what do you notice first when you see this? You notice that Claressa Shields is on her side. When you're truly pressured in an armbar and it's, you're properly secured in mount before you jump out of the plane, so to speak, you have a person like locked in on their back. They can't roll into you this way. They have to roll over you, and we're gonna see an example of this technique done a little bit more properly at the end of the video. So there's no weight on Claressa Shields. So you can see this her right arm is now, the left arm is being threatened. The right arm is now coming in and pushing Brittney Elkin away. And Claressa Shields is a lot stronger than Brittney Elkin. A lot stronger. So she's pushing off. This is as bad as it gets. This is as bad as it gets. Her arm, she's in no doubt a lot of danger here. She's very close to being finished here. But if you look at this, you're not looking at this. She's completely on her side, which alleviates a ton of that hyperextension pressure. That means all of your finishing power on this move is going to be coming from the elbow. And it's going to take a lot longer than 2 seconds to finish someone from that position, especially when they're Claressa Shields. And this is their MMA debut where there's a ton on the line for them. They're not just, I'm not going to say that, she would have got her arm broken. I'm just going to say that you've got to put her in a lot of pain, and you've got to really you got to sell that break on that arm for her to tap. She's tough. She's now pushing with that other arm that's not isolated or threatened off. And this is where she kind of flattens out from pain, but there's that quick, she just bends her arm and pulls it in, and because there's no weight across her chest, she's able to just pull her arm, like suck her arm in, and you're gonna see, look, it's so fast and it's hard to see because the slow-mo really affects the pixelation. So I'm gonna go back and we're just gonna watch it in regular speed. Okay, so not a great S mount. She bails for the armbar. She doesn't have all of her weight across Claressa's head, and Claressa clears the elbow line, allowing her arm to slip away. And now this is the point of the fight where, obviously things start to look pretty bad. There's only 13 seconds in this round, but Brittney Elkin didn't exactly come out for the third round super fresh. She was fighting her fight for those first 2 rounds, so she should have been relatively ready to go. But I think she also took some huge bombs. I want to keep the amount of actual video you see of this to a minimum. I don't want to get copyright strike. But this is a finish of Ronda Rousey. A very same position against a person who's much, much better on the ground. You're going to see the weight, and that leg for Ronda is so high. It's like so high up on the collarbone and head. And this leg is constantly pressing in on the head and folding it, trying to get further isolation. Oh, let me kill the audio here. You can see now that all of her weight is across this young lady. All of her control. There's not even a big pinch on her legs. Like, a lot of people would see this armbar and say there's not great technique here. But it's because she's got so much control of the shoulder that this young lady is alleviated no pressure by rolling onto her side. And you can see that she's got no choice but to try to bail to the other side, because the arm for Claressa Shields, the elbow was kind of like at the base of the pelvis for Brittney Elkin. You can see that Ronda's got this girl's elbow well past her belly button. It's a different level of control. She's got no choice but to go to this side. She's still hyperextended. Now it's belly down. And of course, that's the end of that. So, guys, crazy fight, obviously, and absolutely insane that there is a narrative out there that the fight is fixed. I think that it's obviously not the level of talent that we're used to seeing in a big main event or a UFC event, at even an undercard for the UFC, but it's a girl who's 0-0. Granted, she's a world champion in boxing, but 0-0 versus a girl with 9 fights with a losing record. I think we pretty much got exactly what was advertised in this fight, and I think Claressa Shields does have a lot of potential, and that Kayla fight, that Amanda fight, that is years and years down the line. And if she intends to compete in both sports, mixed martial arts and boxing, well, it's going to be a lot longer road than even that. So stop saying that this fight was fixed online, and stop saying that Brittney Elkin dove on purpose, because she clearly didn't. She was just underexperienced and probably tired and a little hurt. So that's it, guys. Dylan McGrath, the Scrapologist. If you're new here, I do UFC card previews and post shows, and maybe some more videos like this with breakdowns and stuff like that, if this one is well received. So that being said, give me a thumbs up and a subscribe. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks.